What's up, guys? We're going to be going through the deck profile for the deck that's featured in the video Spellstrikers Love, Spellstrikers Life. So the first card in the deck is obviously going to be the Spellstriker. That's the theme of the deck. That's why we built the deck, just to turn him into a huge beat stick and attack for game. So the next card is Card D. This card is for draw power, and we run 2 instead of 3 because 3 gets a little too clustered, and 1 you just never see it. And we do run cards, so when you open with this and you leave your field open, like we do have cards to mitigate damage so that this isn't just like the worst play ever. The next card is Curry Photon, and this is one of the cards that does mitigate damage. A lot of people don't know what it is. What happens is you discard it, you pay it 2,000 life points, and you can do this during any player's turn. And once you pay 2,000 life points, you just don't take damage for the rest of the turn. That includes battle damage and effect damage. So it does have its place over cards like Swift Scarecrow and Battle Fader, but we do only run 2 because we also have another card where you have to pay life points. And we just don't want to get low enough to where we're just going to die. So the next card is 2 Swift Scarecrow. Swift Scarecrow's advantage over Curry Photon is obviously you don't have to pay the 2,000 life points. So I'd rather run 2 of each rather than like 3 of one and 0 of the other, or like 3 and 1, or 1 and 3, or any, I don't know. I feel like a 2 and 2 even split is probably like the best pair for these two. The next card in the deck is a Rhoda. Rhoda is just a search for Spellstriker. That's the only thing it can search, and it thins the deck well. But like the rarest thing is to open with 3 Spellstriker, 2 Rhoda, and I think one time I opened with 2 Spellstriker, 2 Rhoda, but that's probably not. That's just not going to happen. So we run 2 just to help thin the deck, get to our Spellstrikers faster, and get that OTK. The next card is One Day of Peace. This is another card that helps mitigate damage when you're going for Card D. Although I don't recommend using this first turn, because once you use it first turn, your opponent's not going to like go off and go crazy. You want to use this on a turn that's like after you Curry Photon, like say your opponent has like a 5 monster field and you just Curry Photon, and so they're stuck with a 5 monster field. One Day of Peace is what you want to activate after that, so you have another turn where they just do nothing with a full field. And it's just draw power and damage mitigation. The next card is Hidden Armory. Hidden Armory is great because it searches you any of your equip spells, like whichever one you need. You're going to need certain ones for certain situations, and also it mills a card off the top of your deck, so that it's more deck thinning. The next card is MST, because you do get stopped by a lot of back row, like Mirror Force, Deprison, Compulse. A lot of the trap cards stop you, so you're going to want some back row hate. That's why 3 MSTs are here. And the first equip spell, just because it's alphabetical order, that's why it's the first one. It's not the greatest one. It's just there to fill. It's Acts of Despair. This one gives you the highest attack per, like, just for having 1 equip spell card. Just highest flat out attack just for it. The next one is United We Stand. This one nets you the second highest attack, I feel like, in the deck. Just because you only run 3 spells, you're only going to want like 3 Spellstrikers on field at a time, unless you can get like special summon 3 Spellstrikers and then normal summon like a Card D or something, and then it becomes the next highest, or the highest in the deck. But United We Stand, just because when you do get that double or triple Spellstriker, it's like 24 when you have all 3 on the field. The next one is Unstable Evolution. This one is great because it says, while your life points are lower than your opponent's, which it's going to be because they're going to be attacking you and you're going to be Curry Photoning, your life points are going to be lower. The original attack becomes 2,400. This one, that's huge. That's a huge difference for Spellstriker. 600 to 2,400, that's a large boost. But on the downside, I guess it's not really a downside, but while your life points are higher than your opponent's, and this goes for like Cliffots, I guess, they pay life points while you're stalling them out, so they'll be lower than you, but its original attack becomes 1,000, which is still higher than Spellstriker's original attack. So this card's, it's either a huge boost or a little tiny boost, depending on where your life points are. And actually, I noticed if your life points are equal, then it doesn't do anything. You do have to do a lot of like calcs in your mind when you're using this card and attacking for game, because when you attack, and then the first attack it knocks your opponent's life points below yours, you're going to get a 1,400 attack like subtraction because you're going from 24 to 1,000. So you do have to make sure you're calcing right so that you don't end up thinking you have game, and then you actually don't. The next equip spell card is Mage Power. This one is I want to say it's the second best equipped spell card in the deck. It's not the best. In terms of attack power, it's gonna be the best because you're gonna have five back row, including this card, so it's gonna net you 2,500 attack, and you normally draw into more than one when you're going into the Spell Striker OTK turn. So this one's 2,500 per each mage power as long as you like fill your back row. The next and final equipped spell card, and the best one in the deck, Assault Armor. Equipped to only a warrior type monster that is the only monster you control. It gains 300 attack. But during your main phase 1, send this equipped card to the graveyard and allow the equipped monster to attack twice during the battle phase of this turn. This card is crazy for Spell Striker OTK. It lets you don't need 8,000 attack to OTK with Spell Striker at this point. You just need 4,000, which is 2 mage powers and 2 set back row. That's all that is. That's like 2 Acts of Despair and like, I don't know, a mage power and a half? This card lets you OTK very, very minimally. You do have to be careful to not like summon all your Spell Strikers at one time. You're just going to want to summon one, equip this first, and then summon the rest of your Spell Strikers. There have been plenty of times where I accidentally summon 2 Spell Strikers and I'm not able to use this, and then I get sad and I lose the game. Yeah, so this is just phenomenal for this type of deck. And the next card, we're going in the traps. The next card is Reckless Greed. Draw 2 cards, skip your next 2 draw phases, blah blah blah. That's just the standard Reckless Greed draw power. Running 3 because you want as many as you want, as many as you can, really, because you can run 3. I normally don't activate this unless I have like 2 on the same field, so I can not like just net 0 when you're going for draw 2 cards, skip your next 2 draw phases. That's the same thing, except just going faster. So I normally save this for when I have 2 Reckless Greeds, or if I set this and I end my turn, and then during their turn they go for MST and they target this. That, like, depending on my mood, like if I'm in the YOLO mood, I'll activate it, but if I'm like playing real cautious, I'll just let it go. The next card is Trap Stun, because we need to stop things like Mirror Force, Deep Prison, Compulsory, just all that stuff. That needs to go. We can't have that happening when Spell Striker's attacking for game. I'm running Trap Stun over Decree because it's cheaper. Decree, well, they both have pros and cons. Trap Stun, you activate it on the turn, you're going to go for OTK, and then it leaves the field, then you have space for like an equip card. But Decree, in case you don't have like 5 equip cards to play, Decree stays on the field, and so that's just an extra 500 for mage power. So depending on how many equip cards you have to play, Decree could be better if you have like 4. Trap Stun's better if you have 5. And the last card in the deck is Hope for Escape. This might be the most YOLO card in the game. Not the game, the deck. Pay 1,000 life points if your opponent's life points are at least 1,000 higher than yours, and you draw 1 card for every 2,000 point difference in between your life points and your opponent's life points. This kind of pairs well with Curry Photon, because you can mitigate enough damage for you can activate this, so it's going to net you the biggest like amount of 2,000 point differences. I think the max you can draw is 3, unless like you upstart Goblin, which we're not running because it makes the Spell Striker OTK. You're going to have to jump to 5,500 and able to attack twice to get to 11,000. And that's just, I mean, it's not rare. Like, I've pushed him to 10,000 able to attack twice, but I'd rather just not. And I've tried to run Upstart, and it was less consistent. I've also tried to run Pot of Duality over, like, I was running 2 Pot of Dualities over 3 of these, so it was like 1 of these and 2 Dualities, because this can search that, and then, I don't know, like, I was running Dualities, I was running Upstarts, and for whatever reason, running 3 of these guys over, like, 1 and 2 Dualities was proving to be better consistency. No idea why. In theory, I feel like the Pot of Duality should be more consistent, but another downside with Pot of Duality, you can't summon all 3 Spell Strikers in the same turn. And also, if you pair it with Hidden Armory, you can't summon anything. So let's move on to the extra deck. Everyone here is really irrelevant except Battlecruiser Dianthus, sometimes Alucard, and sometimes Equipped Engineer, but Battlecruiser Dianthus is your Gaga Cowboy for the deck, but you can only get it out if you do have that triple Spell Striker on the field. Like, say you have triple Spell Striker and not enough equipped spells to do 8,000 damage. Let's say you do 7,400 points of damage, and they have 3 cards in hand. You just overlay for this guy with all your Spell Strikers, 200 damage for every card in your opponent's hand. That's 600. Like, it's situational, but it's a Spell Striker deck. You're not supposed to be overlaying for stuff anyway. But this is your like cowboy win condition. Alucard is if you do have that triple Spell Striker play. You go for this when you don't have a trap stun up and you don't have MSTs and they have like a 1 back row or like more, but you're just gonna play with fire if you attack. Alucard is like you detach, target a set card, and just kill it basically. So if they have 1, you would probably want to go for this if you don't have a trap stun up and get rid of their back row. If they have 2, you might want to go for this and then hope you get the one that's going to stop you. Hopefully neither of them stop you, but this just gets rid of one of them. And the next relevant one is Equipped Engineer. This guy is in case like you have all 3 Spell Strikers out, you attack with the really big one, and they do something like Swift Scarecrow or Battle Fader you, and you know they're going to kill your big hitting Spell Striker next turn. You overlay the other 2 Spell Strikers for Engineer, and then as long as he doesn't remove your Spell Striker from play, you're safe for the next turn. Everyone else is just like, I just threw it in, just throw it in. 49, Fortune Tunes, Zen Mains, Shadow Lich, Levier, Giga Brilliance, Silver Mountain guy, and the Chronomaly guy. They're irrelevant though. The extra deck, I just kind of threw together just to throw together. Like if your opponent's running Gardna's, Electromagnetic Turtle, the Fader, the Scarecrow, Debunk is what you want to run for that. It just stops things that happen in the hand and the graveyard. I mean, it's not ideal to side this in because like you're going to have to set it like the turn before and hope they don't kill it and just have it there for your Spell Striker play. I don't really like it, but it's kind of necessary for things like that with the Gardna, Fader, and Scarecrow. Soul Release for for decks that rely on the graveyard. Lightsworn in particular, this kind of ruins their day really badly. This card, I found this card randomly. I had no idea this card existed. This was great. I sided this in against Sylvans, and it's really funny because they'll get all their stupid trees on the field, and like you'll just like negate like you'll just mitigate all the damage with Curry Photon. Next turn, you just poop their field and draw a bunch of cards. So it's a fun time. Night Beam, it's not to replace MST. I mean, it can be if they like to chain things to MST, I guess. But this card actually replaces Trap Stun if your opponent doesn't. Like, if you just want to back row hate really hard, like they have cards that don't really block your attack, but they do have like trap cards that benefit them. Then like you're gonna want to run like 3 Night Beam, 3 MST. All these other trap cards are for other people that run no traps. Like they don't have much back row and they don't run Decree. Like sometimes Lightsworn again. Lightsworn's it's a big deck right now. But yeah, like they don't run Decree really. They just run like Needlebug Nests and not trap cards that like hurt you very much. So Bottomless, Torrential, Compulse, Solemn Warning, just the staples. Alright, well that about wraps up the deck profile for the deck featured in the Spell Strikers Love Spell Strikers Life video. Thanks for watching, guys.